Then Wednesday, I toured a bunch of saloons. The thing is, in Ireland, if you want to see anybody, you have to go to the saloon because that's where they are, you know. It's a culture with a lot of saloons in it, and they're really very what should I say, by our standards, they're really very respectable establishments. I mean, there's not a lot of drunkenness and not a lot of hollering and shouting and so forth. They're all very happy, genial people. They seem to be, and they don't get over the top like we do in some of our bars here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a very comfortable time. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened on Wednesday, and I can't. Like I say, some of it is just a blur. I think on Wednesday we may have gone touring with Paul Hanley, who is the owner of the hotel, and he took us up to a place called Knock, Knock, which is a town, and that's where a vision of the Virgin Mary appeared many years ago on a stain in the wall of the church, and they had a tremendous pilgrimage to that town by people of the Catholic faith all over the world, and the Pope visited, and they built a big chapel for his visit, and it's quite an establishment. And when we went up there, it was midweek, of course, and you know, a lot of people were working, of course, but there was a tremendous amount of people there. I think tourism, religious tourism, it brings a lot of people to that place in Ireland to see the place where this so-called supposed vision of the Virgin Mary appeared, and that's great interest to Catholics, I think, worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
But it was interesting to see the town, and of course, it's just a little country town, and the approaches to it and all that are through these really narrow asphalt roads that cut through the Irish green vegetation and leave no room for anybody to get by on either side. And most of the guys over there drive at 80 or 90 miles an hour, so it's just amazing to me that there aren't more extreme traffic accidents. But I attribute that to the Irish drivers being very, very good and knowing their roads, you know.
Yeah.
So there doesn't seem to be any. I didn't hear any reports of any traffic accidents while we were there.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's amazing to me because I was, of course, not in the driver's seat and trying to put my foot through the firewall floor on the passenger side where there is no brake, you know. But I thought I could find one. Anyway, we had a wonderful time with him, and we went to the. I think that was the same day we went to the Museum of Ireland, which is a museum that's devoted to Irish history and how people lived years and years ago when it was a very, very poor country. You know, terribly, terribly poor. People didn't have 2 cents to rub together, and made their living off the land. And it shows all the things that they had to do to get by in that kind of a impoverished situation. They made their horse collars out of rope, out of hemp, that they will hand wove themselves. And I saw some hand woven horse collars up there that looked like they'd be pretty good. I mean, they looked like they'd last a long time. But it showed many of the tools they used and the creels that the women would build these. We think of a creel as something you have on your hip to put your trout in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they built creels that would cover their whole back, great big buckets of woven reeds and rope that they could put the fish in, and then they'd go to the shore and catch fish all day and bring them home, either both commercially and to have for their own families. So we saw some great, large Irish creels, let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, at the museum, I was in the costume or in my cowboy outfit, and everybody in the museum recognized me and had seen the publicity, and of course, it just grew from there all week.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have? What do you have for Thursday? I think Thursday was the day we had our that night we had our anniversary.
Right.
And all the wonderful gifts came in. It was a great, great party. One of the best we've ever had in our entire married life. And we were just, both of us, very touched. And I don't know if that's the night we got the glass horse or it was another night.
No,
but,
you got the glass horse on Saturday at your autograph signing.
Okay, that's right. I thought that came later. So we had that wonderful, wonderful dinner and wonderful evening.
And then right after that, you went and did a marathon interview at the Midwest Radio with Michael Collins.
Oh, that's right. I left Carl at home on my anniversary night and had to go out, and I didn't get home till 2:30 in the morning, or about 2:30. We went from 11 o'clock till 1:30 or 2 or whatever it was when we finally got out of there. So that was a marathon, as you say, and I couldn't believe he still wanted to talk to me after all that time.
I was listening.
You were listening to that?
On the internet, yes.
Oh my God! Well, that went on and on and on, didn't it? It was amazing. But he's a very fine interviewer, and it was a wonderful show, and we did, I'm sure, a lot of people in Ireland listen to it. They stay up late and listen to it. He's got a big following, so he's going to come over to the States and go to the rodeo here in Houston next year, I think, and do a show from over here, which I probably will do with him from one of Eamon's Irish pubs downtown.
I see.
So we'll do it live on the balcony or something. Anyway, keep reminding me of what we did now. What do we...
Okay, well, if you went home after the radio show, then next day you were off to the Galway races.
That's right. We got home at 2:30, and I think we had to get up and leave at 11 from the hotel and go to the Galway races. And we had that was just a incredibly exciting day. The races were great. All the thoroughbreds over there at this particular meet at this track seem to have nothing but hurdle races. You know, they don't just race around the track. They have to jump barriers. It's not like a steeplechase, which is they also have there, but they just jump over short barriers, probably 3.5, 4 feet. And but they have to do it several times during the race. You know, there's like 8 barriers they have to clear, and they have pile-ups and wrecks, of course, there, just like they do in steeplechase, which I'm sure you're familiar with, aren't you? You know what steeplechase is.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that is more difficult and requires more of an extreme jumper. But these horses can all jump, or if they can't, they hit the barrier, and they're collapsible barriers. You know, they're not barriers that are going to hurt the horse. They just tear them up if they go through them. But most of the time, they get over them and come rushing around the corner. Thoroughbred horses like a covey of quail, and I'll tell you, I don't know how anybody handicaps those horses or figures what they're going to do because of all the variables, you know, with all the hurdles and so forth. Anybody can hit a hurdle, no matter what his pedigree is and what his history is. So if you hit a hurdle, you're either out of the race or way back in the pack. So that's something I found quite fascinating, the way they do that. But